News just out, Stellantis is laying off almost 2,500 factory workers from an assembly plant outside of Detroit.
How many times Stellantis got to show the American people that they don't care about what's going on in America? They just laid off 2,500 jobs in Michigan. Laid them off. And you know what that means. Let's have a conversation.
So the automaker is ending production of the Ram 1500 Classic truck, and the layoffs will be effective as early as October 8th, the company said.
So as early as October, that's next month. October 8th is next month. Laying them off. You're going to lay 2,500 people off. 2,500 people got to get laid off. And you know what happened when you get laid off. You start to wonder, man, they laid me off. Does that mean the company about to shut down? Is the company having money problems going on? You know what it is. First, they lay you off 1 month, 1 week. Then 1 week turned to 3 weeks. 3 weeks turned to a month turned to 3 months, 6 months. Next thing you know, they moving the whole factory to Mexico for cheaper labor. I'm trying to tell you, they trying to cut costs. Goofy goofball Carlos, all he know how to do is cut costs. He gets rid of something to make so he can make it seem like the company is making money. Anything he deems as fat, and you know I don't like fat on my meat either. Anything he deems as fat, he chopping it. And everything in America, he's basically getting rid of. He is chopping it. I know y'all like, dang, man, you keep saying that, T-Light, but I know he ain't doing that. He don't care nothing about the American people.
All right, so what's happening here at Stellantis? Does that surprise you?
Well, it's kind of sad because the Ram Classic is a big selling truck, but apparently they feel they need to make some changes. There's a lot of things going on at Stellantis. I think because they're now a European-owned company, that they don't understand the U.S. marketplace. Trucks are a mainstay for the Ram brand, and not having the Classic truck, which is an entry-level vehicle, I think is going to be a problem, and it may affect their bottom line. And a lot of different manufacturers are struggling.
Like I said, it's Carlos's fault that these Ram Classic trucks ain't selling because he got them so overpriced. $55,000, $60,000 for an entry-level truck is outlandish. Doofus McGoofism to the max. This boy is a goofy goofball. And he can't help himself. And he trying to make it seem like the truck ain't selling because it's just nobody wants it. People want the truck. They just can't afford the truck, Carlos. And you the reason why they can't afford it, because you using all that money, the profit that you making off of these trucks to pay for this electric garbage, or as I like to say, garbino, garbatros. Using that money to finance these electric cars that ain't nobody gonna buy. But we gonna let the lady talk about it. And I'm gonna get back to you because I got some smoke for you, Carlos. Go ahead, ma'am. Do your talk. Talk that talk, baby.
What do you think about this ending the production on the Ram 1500? Is it because of competition? Could it be because of the Cybertruck? Other trucks like Rivian? I mean, what do you think it's behind this?
Well, it's not all Ram 1500s, which are half-ton trucks. It's just the Classic, which is the entry level. So I think one of the things that people need to understand is the truck business is huge, and still number one for the last over 40 years is Ford Motor Company with their F-Series Super Duty. Now, Ram has a lot of competition in their half-ton truck market, and that includes the Silverado. You've got the Titan XD, and then, of course, you've got the electric vehicles, the Cybertruck, which right now the sales are horrible. If you want to buy a Cybertruck, you can literally get online today and get one in the next couple of days because there's no more backlog, which tells you that production numbers that they produced more than they need, which is seeming to be the situation with not just Tesla, but with Rivian, but we're also seeing that with Nissan. Their sales are way down right now. In the last quarter, they had a 99% profit loss, which means they only made 1%. That's a big sign that a lot of these car companies need to start understanding that consumers want gasoline powered, they want hybrid, and there is a mix for electric. It doesn't mean that one or the other should go away, but understanding that mix properly and producing cars that consumers want is super critical. And if you don't, which is what all the manufacturers are learning, that they're now adjusting their mix of electric vehicles and gas, because even though the federal government is mandating a lot of this, that may change in November, that we don't know. This is a huge factor, and we're seeing a lot of pullback from every single brand.
Competition. She said it's competition. And it's definitely competition. Ford, they still number one. Then Chevy, GM coming in second. Dodge coming in a good old-fashioned last like they always do. Good old-fashioned last. They was number one for a split nanosecond. And then Carlos got in there and he ruined all that. He ended all that. He made sure to put us in last place. And Carlos's problem is he's so hell-bent out on making Dodge an electric luxury type brand vehicles like Dodge, Ram, and Jeep. He trying to make them like a luxury type of brand, and ain't nobody buying that. Nobody wants electric vehicles. Like the lady said, even Teslas can't sell right now. Tesla's not selling. Ford's Lightning not selling. All these electric cars not selling. And it seemed like Carlos can't get it through his bucket head full of rocks. He can't seem to get it through his head that electric is not the way to go. Don't nobody want no electric vehicle. Right now, they want combustion, kablooey. They want them fossil fuels burning, smelling like that gasoline. That's what we want. We want big gasoline motors. We don't want big electric motors that's producing just as much pollution as the gas motors. But you know Carlos, he think he know everything, but he don't know how to brush his hair, brush his teeth. He don't know how to do none of that, but he know how to run a car company. Allegedly. I gotta say allegedly, but we can look at him and tell I ain't lying. We can look at him and tell I ain't lying. He can't even see good, so how can he see the future? Allegedly. I gotta say allegedly, because you know Carlos might see this video and he might get all in his feelings because he looking like a doofus. A goofus. Let's see what this lady ought to say.
And let me focus a little bit longer on this Cybertruck because I've actually seen more and more of those on roads, on streets. What are your thoughts on it?
I have driven one. A friend of mine bought one, and I asked him, I said, hey, what do you think? He says, well, first off, the insurance is $7,500 for 6 months. That's $15,000 a year in just insurance because it's an electric vehicle and because it's so heavy. And then he ran over something on one of his construction sites and got a flat tire, and the tire replacement was over $1,000 for one tire. So that's going to cause a lot of consumers to pull back on buying vehicles that are gigantic, like the Hummer EV, like the Cybertruck. Even though they're available and they're sort of a cute little toy, they're great if you lease them and you walk away from them after 2 or 3 years. But owning one, I think you're going to have a problem reselling it down the road, as every single car manufacturer is saying electric vehicles on the secondary market, in other words, used vehicles, there's a problem and they're taking a huge loss.
You heard the lady said a Tesla Cybertruck costs $7,500 every 6 months for insurance. So let's do the math. That's $15,000, like she said, for 1 year for an electric vehicle like a truck. Dodge about to drop a Ram. Stellantis about to drop a Ram truck. That's all electric. So it's probably just as heavy as a Tesla, and it's going to cost just as much money with the insurance companies. As you know, with any kind of electric car, if you just get a fender bender, they're going to total that vehicle out. That means the insurance company is on the hook for that car. That entire car they got to pay for. And as you know, insurance companies, they all about that profit. Because you know, if insurance is one of the biggest scams of all time. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get into a car wreck. Maybe one person out of 10,000 may get into a car accident. Maybe the number's a little bit different than that, but it ain't that many. It's way more people not getting into accidents than it is people getting into accidents. So insurance companies ain't doing nothing but raking in massive amounts of profit. And these electric cars just start to dig into the massive amount of profit. They don't want to lose no money. Insurance companies don't want to lose no money. So that's why they don't want to insure these electric vehicles. And Stellantis is hell-bent on pumping out nothing but electric vehicles. Who can afford $1,000 for one tire? $1,000 for one tire? Because you know them tires got to be able to handle all that weight. Because these electric vehicles are heavy. They about to drop a brand new Dodge Charger fully electric EV. How much you think that insurance gonna cost? It's going to be considered a sports car. You already know they're knocking our heads off of these sports cars right now. So it's probably going to be somewhere around maybe $3,500 every 6 months. That's $6,000 a year. Who can afford to give an insurance company that kind of money? Stellantis got to get their stuff together. You're laying off people because of their mistakes. And I feel sorry for those 2,500 people that's going to get laid off. They're going to come back to work after that week, and then they're going to get laid off again shortly. Because I'm telling you, Stellantis want to get all their products that's being produced in America, they want to get them to Mexico so they can get them produced for much, much cheaper. Carlos just told you, all he care about is profit. Profit, profit, profit. He don't care about your little dusty ass. He don't care about your little American butt. He care about his people and his $39 million a year. You notice he ain't taking no pay cuts. When you gonna lay yourself off, Carlos? Matter of fact, fire yourself. It would be so great if you would just fire yourself. Just get rid of yourself. He ain't gonna do that because he get $39 million a year. He ain't taking no pay cut, but he want everybody else to take a pay cut. Make it make sense. What kind of leader is that? Oh, I make $39 million. I ain't gonna take no pay cuts, but I'm gonna make sure I chop everybody else's job and get rid of everybody, but I ain't gonna get rid of my $39 million making something that ain't doing no $39 million worth of work. Come on, Carlos. I know I could run the company better than you. Allegedly. I gotta say allegedly, because I could just look in your eyes. I know you a hater. I can just tell. So I gotta say allegedly. Allegedly, Carlos don't know what he doing. Allegedly. Doofus McGoofus. Look at him. We can't trust you. And Carlos, we cannot trust. He has ruined the Dodge, the Ram, the Jeep, and the Chrysler brand. And every other brand he got his fingers on. Them booty diggers, every other brand he got his hand on, he ruined it. He is ruining it. Well, he ain't ruined Alfa Romero. They ruined themselves. Hot garbage trucks. Get in a Dodge Hornet and tell me what you think about that. But with that being said, I just wanted to touch bases on this, man. I seen the little news, you know, Christine sent me this little the link, and I saw this, man. I was hurt. I'm hurt because I don't want to see nobody get laid off. I don't want to see nobody lose their job because from incompetency, you know. The man is incompetent, allegedly, making decisions that don't make no sense. He just want to cut costs instead of caring about people. Who can afford, if you keep getting rid of all these jobs, who's going to afford your cars? 9 times out of 10, the people that work for you are going to be the people that most likely buy your cars. If they work for a Dodge company, a Ram company, they probably going to buy a Ram, they probably going to buy a Dodge, they probably going to buy a Chrysler, they probably going to buy a Jeep. Yeah, it's probably a big chunk of the people that buy your vehicles, but he don't care about that. But I don't really want to keep going on. Carlos, the doofus, magoofus, skittle brain. He... What more can I say? Just look at him. Just look at him and tell me what you think. But with that being said, man, I'm going to slide on up out of here. Hopefully you liked this video and you enjoyed it. It's free to like. It's free to put thumbs down. And it's free to subscribe. And it's free to share. You make that decision. I ain't going to make it for you, baby. But y'all stay blessed up. Peace.
That's what they call me. I promise that you never be lonely. Be the fan.